Hi and good evening, everyone. This recording is for the meetup group, and it will focus on momentum stocks. And today's objective is to see if we can find up to 5 stocks that we can keep an eye on for future purchases, especially as this market strengthens at some point and actually makes the real turn. So we know overall that the energy sector is running right now, but a lot of those stocks are extended, and most of the momentum stocks scans will show up energy stocks, and I'll talk a little bit about that towards the end. But let's see if we can cover a few stocks, right? So the first stock is Shockwave, SWAV. Shockwave. So this company is based out of Santa Clara, up in Northern California. It makes catheters and devices for the medical industry, mostly for patients with arterial diseases, etc. So that's the kind of the business, and in terms of the sentiment, it's a little bit mixed. There's some insider selling going on in terms of financials. 10 billion cap, sales for last year, full year, was 363 million, out of which they kept 55 million. And they've got a healthy operating cash flow resulting from that. Most of it, 86% margins for the quarter and on gross, and down to 15. So they've got some opportunity to narrow that gap a little bit. And then in terms of earnings and momentum, triple-digit earnings with momentum, that's all positive, and triple-digit sales numbers, so that's good. Easily passing the requisite fundamentals. So in terms of the chart, now everything's, because of the bear market, all bases are reset. So we're looking at first stage basis. This one actually did already break out, and we can see it's got tremendous outperformance from a relative strength perspective. You can see that here. So it's come out of the base. It actually broke out a few weeks ago. So what you want to look for now is a pullback to, say, the 10-week, and try and get a bounce off that as an entry point. The industry that this is sitting in is medical devices, and that is in a downtrend, as is the sector. The only sectors that are really running is healthcare and utilities. But the stock outperformance is exceptionally good. If anything, at this stage, it is extended. So you're looking for a pullback on Shockwave, which is probably down to the 10-week. So that's the first stock. And our next potential stock is ERM. So this is a different animal. This is in the industrial sector. Industrial sector's done okay, even though this particular industry is within that sector. Security and protection services hasn't done as well. Companies based out of Arizona. Provide smart mobility tech solutions and services in the USA, Canada, Australia, etc. The Morgan Stanley recently adjusted its price target to 17 from 16. So very minor change, but at least it's in the right direction. And then the numbers, so this is more of a smaller cap company, 2.5 billion. Sales are almost 700 million, out of which they kept 86 million, and generated operating cash flow of 252, which is exceptionally good considering. And we can see again a young stock with triple-digit earnings numbers, and for the most part, close to or above 50% on the sales. So that's all positive. And we have a stock that's in a fairly well-defined uptrend. It may have some challenges up here. And we can see on the weekly picture here, it's been kind of treading water for quite some time, hasn't done a lot since, say, August of 21. Tried to break out a few times, once, twice, 3, then there's 4, 5, 6 attempts in total within there. So it is setting up to, if we can get a breakout above this, chances are this stock is ready to run. It's at the marginal end of the counting the bases 15. So this would be a first stage base, and a first stage base in a bear market is good. So if this sets up, you might want to take a look at the RRM. And overall, fundamentally, the book price on this has been increasing as well. So they are adding value. That's the second stock. The third one, that it's a bit more speculative still, but still worth paying attention to, is Airbnb. Airbnb is still early on its growth path. I mean, it's a fairly recent IPO, still hasn't gotten to high grounds. But it is, you can see down here, it's making a bottoming base of sorts, as an inverse head and shoulders in the makings. If it does get above the like the 130 zone on volume, this one actually may begin to make its climb again. The industry that it sits in is internet, and so anything related to software tech is beaten up. That's pretty the tech sector, yeah. But the stock is still in a downtrend, looking to put in a bottoming base very early on. It's still an IPO in its capacity, but they, for the quarter, they're 80% margins on gross, 16, 17 on net, which are extremely good. And then we've got triple-digit growth being posted along with backed up by revenue growth as well. Return on equity is respectable in the 20s as well. So it does have the numbers. The price hasn't caught up with the fundamentals yet, but in a bad tape, it's not surprising. What is encouraging is this bottoming base action that it's making now. So if the stock can hold this and start to buck the trend against a downtrending tape, then this one may be worth looking at for a potential play, or even a long-term setup. That's that one. And another stock that looks good at this stage, Vertex. Vertex is in the medical sector, healthcare, in the industry that it sits in is biotech. So this one's had a bit of a bumpy ride. Biotechs are always like a bucking bronco. They can have wild moves. But the interesting thing is this one's at, back to testing this high point over here. So if you can take this out, then it could make a run because all the overhead supply is being eaten up. Numbers wise, it's 74 billion, over 3 billion in income, 4 billion. So it's got quality of earnings there. And then we see 88% gross margins, 38% net margins. So the margins are very healthy, very strong. And here we see a level of acceleration in the earnings and a big post last quarter. So there's probably some comps to look at there. And on the sales numbers, it's looking very respectable. We got all in the 20s, and that is comfortably acceptable right there. Stock has been outperforming the S&P 500. The RS line has been moving up, and we can see it's testing this high level here. So a breakout above around 306, 306 will be encouraging. In fact, in the Sunday group, this stock has already been played, and lots of people are in it, are out of this base here. So people started picking this off around this level here. It's about 278, and it hasn't set the world on fire, got up to about 8%. It's holding, but it's still up in a down tape. So this position is working at this stage. And now we've got a nice upward trend. The stock's got momentum as well. So that's Vertex. And then we have a little bit more of back to the smaller end of the scale. So this is the stock has now improved its financials, and the last big breakout was over here, and this was picked up. In fact, out of this breakout here, I think it went on to make 100%, moving into this base area here. So even though we're in a reset, all bases reset in a bear market, so you could almost consider the next base could be the first base in a way. And look, the stock's outperformance is just outrageously strong, considering that. So this is against the market, and in a sector that's been beaten up, and an industry that's beaten up, this stock has got incredible momentum for going forward. So it's pulling back into the 10-week. So a 10-week bounce off LNTH would be a potential. That could be around the 77, 78 zone. So it's sitting right there for the taking. So we looked at Shockwave, VRRM, Airbnb 3, Vertex 4, LNTH 5. So that's 5 possible stocks that you can take a look at. So let's have a look at XOP. And XOP is an ETF which covers oil and gas exploration and production. And as you can see, it's in a strong upward momentum trajectory. It's got a nice trend to it. It's just bounced off the lower end of the trend. So it's trading in a nice little trend channel right now. And there was an opportunity to pick some XOP up. With ETFs, I don't consider consolidations and breakouts. I look at different ways to enter it. And certainly the entry, there was an entry point recently in the stock. That's actually been a multiple entry points. And it's pulled back last week because of the week's action. So this could give you an opportunity, say, to pick it off at the 10-week bounce, right? So look for a 10-week bounce in XOP, and that will get you into ownership of a number of stocks that are sitting in here. And just to give you an example of some of those, you have MNPL, MTDR, FANG, CLR, CPE. Those are all super strong stocks. I'm not going to cover the market here because that's kind of something I do elsewhere, but I will be posting a quick review on the market over the next couple of days, and I'll post it to the YouTube channel. So for those of you who want to view other videos, then feel free to join the channel, and you'll see other things, especially focus around index investing and a few other things. So momentum stock investing is going to be primarily dealt with somewhere else, but for the meetup, I think what I'll do, so I will post them to the YouTube channel, just because it's easier to share it that way. Okay, so if there's any questions, you can leave a comment on the channel, or you can email me, or you can message me through the meetup process. Hopefully this was helpful, and I will say good night. Thanks. Bye.